us. It is Laura Wells, and I have with me Juan Williams. We are excited for another Wednesday ELN Hangout today. Stacy Wallace is at sea on the Cruise 2000 Air with Solovay and some other top leaders, and so we are missing her, but we're going to wing it today in her absence. So welcome, Juan. If you've been watching for the last couple of weeks, we've actually been doing a whole series called Smart Money, and this whole series that we're doing in the month of September is dedicated to helping you be a better steward of your finances, kind of learn some tips and tricks of the trade in terms of what to do about taxes and deductions and things like that. And Stacy actually on the weeks prior, and I know that later on this month there's actually going to be some talk about a book that she actually wrote called Smart Money, and so kind of we're going to be giving you some tips and ideas from that. Juan Williams, I'd love for you to tell everybody who hasn't been watching the last couple weeks kind of what you do, a little bit about you, and so they know kind of where you're coming from and what they're going to learn today. That'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you, Laura. I'm looking forward to this call, especially because we get to talk about some things that I think is going to affect a lot of people. The past few weeks we've been talking about the tax advantage of the home-based business. Most of us on this call have probably signed up in Solovay, and so we're excited. We are saving money on our cell phone. We are getting other people involved, and we're making money with it. One of the things, as we all know, when you make money, Uncle Sam wants to take part of that money. In our jobs, we know that every paycheck that we receive, a portion of it goes to federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security taxes, FICA, Medicaid, and so we lose about 30 to 40% of each of our paychecks just because of taxes. So we want people that get into Solovay to understand there are some benefits. Number one, for getting in Solovay, the home-based business, and as such, we are classified the same as someone who has a corporation or an LLC or any other type of business. You know, our business, when we sign up initially, we're sole proprietors, so we don't have to do a lot in terms of qualifying the business as an LLC or S corp. We can just simply work it as a sole proprietor. We can get our DBA from the city that we live in. We can all go to probably the records building in our city and just apply for a DBA, or you can just simply operate it in your name and use your Social Security number. But what the IRS wants is for us to keep good records and to make sure that we're working the business with the intent to make a profit. So over the last few weeks, we've been kind of going over some of the deductions, some of the things that you can do as a Solovay member to not only increase your take-home pay, but also avoid having to pay taxes at the end of the year and perhaps get a bigger refund if they've been taking out a lot of money from the check. So I think that's where we've been going with that. And today, I want to look at that again because you can never look at it enough to see how you can really lower your taxes. As I said before, you know, 30%, 40% of our income is going towards some sort of a tax. Even when we get the money, we still have to turn around and go buy things, and we're taxed on those things. Then even on our phone service, we're going to notice there's a tax on there. So how do we really set it up so that we are benefiting from the tax laws that the IRS has put in place, and not just simply, you know, working and spending and paying the government? We want to pay our fair share, but as low as possible, I think all of us would agree is what we want to do. So I think, Laura, that's what we're going to continue talking about today, and I like to call it the common tax deduction of home-based business. How you can benefit from things there.
Yeah, and I want to remind everybody too, if you're watching this live, I'm actually monitoring as Juan continues to talk about his topic here. I'm actually going to monitor the Facebook group. So if you want to hop in there, go to Facebook. You can actually see at the bottom of my little title there, facebook.com/group/Empowered Living Network. And join that group. We'll get you in there, and you can actually ask questions as we're going. If you have specific questions about taxes or questions for Juan, or me. Not that I know much about taxes. I'm here to learn just like you guys. But if you have questions as we go, feel free to pop them in there into that group and participate in the conversation, and I'll get them, and I'll kind of interrupt Juan as we go and have him tackle those. So, and I know, last week we actually had some questions that we really couldn't even get to. So one of the things, there's actually two questions that we couldn't get to. One of them, somebody had asked, and I'm sure in this hour you'll talk about this, when is a good time, if any, to turn your business, your home-based business, into an LLC? So we can talk about that. And then also, since we're in the mobile service industry, and so we're dealing with phones and all of that, does that mean that in general, our entire $49 plus tax and the equipment, our new phone, our device, if we decide to get a new phone, is that always a complete 100% tax write-off because of this specific business that we're dealing with? So those two questions we didn't have time to talk about last week. So as you go, I'm sure you'll be able to tackle those. So
okay,
take it away.
I think it would be a good idea to just address real quick those information, so when we start, we can just go on, and I'm sure other questions will come up. But as far as the LLC, I usually tell people, look, when you start in a business like SolarBay, you're taking the next year to really learn to understand the business, to even learn about business. Most people don't know a lot about business, so the marketing of your business, the training, all those things you get. So when you sign up with SolarBay, you'll notice that even on the website, when you go sign up, it's not asking you for any particular tax ID number or business classification. So when you sign up, you basically are in business, okay? And the IRS, when you fill out your forms at the end of the year, they're going to ask you to fill out a Schedule C, and a Schedule C is a sole proprietor form. So all of us, when we sign up in SolarBay, we're sole proprietor. SolarBay will then, anyone that's making over $600 for the year will send a 1099 miscellaneous form, and it will have non-employee compensation on the form. So